Right, that was the B-52s with 52 Girls, and that song came via request from Stephanie in Bellingham, Washington, listening to the program on WLUW.org. Ladies and gentlemen, on the phone with me, I've got TV critic, specializes in reality TV, man by the name of Topher McGanus. Topher, are you on the phone?
Oh, Jimmer, hi.
Hi, Topher. It's great to have it's great to have you on the program. You're here today to talk about what's going on with reality television, and I'm kind of excited about that. I know the listeners probably are as well. Just some recaps of our favorite shows. How's everything in your world, Topher?
Oh, it's just peaches. It's just peaches, my friend.
Just peaches. Well, where should we start? Really, there's so much going on. It seems like every station has a reality television show now, whereas just a few years ago, you know, the only game in town was Survivor or maybe, I don't know, The Bachelorette. Speaking of The Bachelorette, is that still a show?
Bachelorette, absolutely, and The Bachelor, too.
Well, what's going on? Which one of those is on right now?
Well, I've been keeping up to date with The Bachelor.
Okay, well, what's going on in the world of The Bachelor right now?
Oh, let me tell you, it was pretty exciting because those who've been paying attention, Desmond just this last week gave Cheryl the Black Rose.
Okay, so Desmond gave Cheryl the Black Rose, and what does that mean?
That, as you may know, means that she has to leave the mansion.
Okay.
And she was pretty heartbroken about it.
Well, I can imagine.
Oh yeah, and but it had a beautiful, iconic final scene with Cheryl there. She was texting her dad, telling him that her life's over, and she's not sure how she's going to continue on, and so on and so forth. She was sitting naked and alone in the group hot tub, and she was so upset, in fact, that she had forgotten she was supposed to wear her Pepsi earrings, the Pepsi-sponsored earrings. Oh,
I see. So since Pepsi sponsors it, they give the people items to wear, and she was supposed to wear her Pepsi earrings?
Yep, she was required by her contract to wear those. So in between a cut, they actually had a stagehand run in and write Pepsi on her forehead in lipstick. So it was just one scene. She's just there texting, and then it cuts away for a second, and then you see a shocked look on her face, and with Pepsi scrawled across her forehead there.
I see. So because she forgot to wear the Pepsi-sponsored earrings, a stagehand just went ahead and wrote Pepsi across her face with lipstick, so so the product placement would still be there.
Exactly. And that's something you don't normally catch. I mean, some people watching the show might have picked up on that, but they, it may not have, been so clear. I obviously have connections inside the shows and such, and let me tell you, it's a hoot.
Now, you do have connections inside the shows. How exactly, if we can go away from the shows for a second, I do definitely want to hear more about the shows, but how did you get your start, Topher?
Well, I started off in acting.
Okay, you started off as an actual actor, okay.
Well, not really. I was doing the craft services.
Okay.
And in the craft services, people said, Topher, these sandwiches are great. What do you do with them? And, of course, I had my secret recipe that I couldn't share with anyone. But I said, I can't tell you that. You just keep hiring me. Eventually, one day, I'll tell you. And so they kept on hiring me, especially for these other shows that have a whole bunch of extra crew members, like these reality shows. They want something to eat, and they just love my sandwiches.
Okay, so do you still currently work in craft services?
I still do it every once in a while. I do the craft services, just kind of like a moonlighting gig. But for now, I basically do these reviews, and I'll go downtown and kind of stand outside the street corner, kind of like in the old days when they had the callers, and just tell what's going on, tell the news,
Well, wow. Well, that's great. It's nice to see. You kind of started at the bottom, as it were, and worked your way up.
Yeah.
So, what's going on in the world of Keeping Up with the Kardashians? I know that.
they had an interesting show just not too long ago. It had, of course, Kim Kardashian's in the show, and her stepfather, Bruce Jenner. And as it was, little Kanye, he was out doing something. He was at a scuba event, and while they were out, he was out, they almost drowned. They were making out actually in these hairy what you call furry costumes.
So let me get this straight. Kim Kardashian and Bruce Jenner started making out while Kanye was out of the house?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep, they were heavy petting there in the hot tub, and thankfully Kanye had just returned from the scuba event and was able to dive in and save him because those lovebirds with the water in their costumes there was getting pretty heavy, and yeah, they almost drowned. But boy, was he upset there. It's the episode where Bruce Jenner has that viral line that you'll see written all over the tabloids and everywhere. I caught chlamydia from a bowling ball.
So Bruce Jenner said that?
Oh yeah.
And he said, I caught chlamydia from a bowling ball?
Yeah, that happens earlier in the show, and that's why Kim is trying to, that's why they got in the suits and everything.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. So, and then once they were both in the suits, they just couldn't resist it? And
yeah, I mean, it was pretty, Kim was there in her little kitten outfit, and then Bruce, he was dressed up like a fuzzy duck.
A fuzzy duck.
He had that swimming background, and he doesn't do swimming too well anymore, apparently, because he needed Kanye to come in to help him out.
And what did Kanye do? You said he was upset, but was he? This is obviously a great revelation that the two of them were kissing and making out.
Yeah, Kanye came in. He was in the full scuba gear because, like I said, he just came back from that scuba event.
Right.
It was like some type of seminar or something. They didn't quite show any of that on air. But he comes through the door in full scuba gear, and he just jumps into that hot tub and starts saving them. Now, like I said, he was pretty upset at the whole thing. He was yelling and screaming and talking about all different kinds of things. It was an interesting show, to say the least.
I bet. It's always interesting when somebody comes in and starts saying all different kinds of things. Now, those shows, The Bachelor and Keeping Up with the Kardashians, those are kind of staples. Are there any shows that are kind of under the radar right now that you think deserve a little bit more attention than they're getting?
More press, absolutely. There's a lot of newcomers to the scene of reality television, and I certainly, one of the first ones that kind of came out with the popularity of Iron Chef. They had started a new series on Food Network called Huge Stew.
It's called Huge Stew?
Yes.
Okay, and what's that about?
Well, it's similar to Iron Chef, where they have a secret ingredient every week, and they cook them all there on spot. They have two competitors going at it, and for example, this past week they had the secret ingredient was E. coli, and the judges were blown away by both of the competitors' submissions that they have these elaborate and fanciful ways of preparing the food and dishing it, and it's all undercooked meals laced with this bacteria. You see. Okay.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. And there's judges that actually taste this?
Oh yeah, and they have an extra rating because on the Iron Chef show, they have, of course, how it tastes, how it's prepared, and then on this show, they include how sick it makes them, and the sicker they get, the higher the rating.
Now, is there celebrity judges on this show?
Oh yes. Roseanne Barr has been a return celebrity for many, many weeks.
Okay,
she's loving that show.
Are there any other celebrities of note that are judges on that show?
Andy Dick hosts the show.
Okay.
and he also is one of the judges.
Okay.
And I mentioned Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr, what was his name that she was married to?
Tom Arnold.
Tom Arnold, yes. They have to put a buffer between Roseanne and him, but he's usually he comes back every once in a while for the show.
Now the stew is guaranteed to make them sick, but do they seem at all nervous about that, or do they just dive right in?
No, they just dive right in. I mean, occasionally there'll be like a scab or a Band-Aid they find in there, but truth be told, most of them it makes their way into their gullet undetected.
Oh, I see. So sometimes they won't even notice that there's a scab or a Band-Aid. They'll just eat it. I see.
Yeah. I might want to add the competitors. It's huge stew, but all of them they cook all their dishes in their own culinary hot tub, where the staff and guests of the show, right before each taping, they go in and celebrate in the same hot tubs that they end up cooking in. So they kind of stir up the mixture there and kind of keep it wild.
I see. So each competitor makes the stew in their own hot tub.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, that's kind of interesting. Huge stew. And what television station is that on?
Oh, that's Food Network.
Oh, that's right, on Food Network. Huh. Any other shows that are kind of under the radar that might be of interest to people?
Sure thing. There's one that just recently aired, its first pilot episode, and it's called Surgery Friends.
Surgery Friends. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's a simple premise, but you can kind of see where they're going with it and how it can be picked up for several seasons. It's a show where they get two people, and they're locked in a room together, and in that room is a whole bunch of surgical instruments and equipment, a bunch of alcohol, and a hot tub.
I see. So it's just two strangers, and they're locked in a room. They have no way of getting out?
Correct.
And there's just surgical instruments, I'm assuming like a surgical table, maybe lights, alcohol in a hot tub.
That's correct.
Well, what else do you really need?
I know, and it basically writes itself.
And what happened on the pilot episode?
Well, there is Tony and Tony 2. They I don't know why on the first episode they both got two people with the same name, but they both were on the show, and they sat around for a while confused that one was saying that he was just, he was shaving and then someone came into his house and bonked him on the head. And that's the last thing he can remember. Mm-hmm. And the other guy thought that was pretty funny because he said that he signed some paperwork saying he was going to be on a TV show, but that was the last thing he could remember. They joked around for a little bit, and then they started noticing all the equipment, so they started amputating things here and there and just having some cocktails.
And did they ever get a chance to enjoy the hot tub?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they enjoyed the hot tub. And it was kind of they were tossing the amputated parts in there and kind of playing like a Bob for Apples type scenario.
Okay, all right. Well, that seems like an interesting show. And what channel is that on?
That's on the Discovery Channel.
Okay. Surgery Friends on the Discovery Channel. All right. What other shows are you interested in lately?
Oh, there's another new one on the street, new kid on the block called Put This Baseball in Your Mouth for an Hour.
The show is called Put This Baseball in Your Mouth for an Hour?
That's correct.
And tell us a little bit about that show.
It's kind of the premise is they have these contestants that get to take, what they say, their 15 minutes of fame or what have you. They get to block that off into a full hour of fame, and they take historic baseballs and they hold them in their mouth for an hour, and the camera kind of pans around and kind of shows the different angles, and they do this while they're sitting in a hot tub, of course.
Oh, I see. So they go. I'm assuming they go to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And they'll get a baseball that has some significant history to it, mm-hmm. And then they'll have somebody put that baseball in their mouth for an hour?
That's correct.
And that's the whole show?
Oh, yes.
And what channel is that on?
History Channel.
That's on the History Channel?
Yeah, they picked that up. I think TLC was trying to get the rights to it, but I think History Channel, hopped in there because obviously with the historic baseballs and such, that was what the main, they were able, they had a little bit more clout.
Oh, well, sure. Interesting. What I'm just dying to know, what other shows are you interested in lately?
Speaking of TLC, there was one that they did pick up, and that's actually one of my personal favorites that's recently been on the air.
Okay.
It's called Sigourney Weaver's Time Out.
Sigourney Weaver's Time Out.
Yeah.
Now, you don't hear enough about her these days. What is Sigourney Weaver's Time Out about?
Well, as you know, Sigourney Weaver, she's been in all, she's an actress, and she's been around doing a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of those things, aren't the best. Sigourney.
So Sigourney Weaver's been up to some bad stuff lately?
Just in general, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so what the show is about is it's only 45 minutes, and they have to strip it down sometimes for content because she can get a little bit rowdy. But she sits in the corner, and she has a little timeout chair, and she just sits there, and she has timeout for 45 minutes. Now she knows what she did, but it's kind of to the viewer to understand what it did that put her in that situation.
I see. Okay, so it's kind of a whodunit in a way.
But we know who done it.
Okay,
we don't know what it was.
Okay, I see.
And there's things in the room, and one of the key elements there is they always keep a hot tub fully running in the room that she's in, but she's not allowed to touch or look at it.
Oh, sort of as a punishment.
Exactly, yeah.
Because she knows what she did.
She knows what she did, yeah.
All right. Wow. Well, that's so many shows. There can't possibly be any more.
Oh, there is one that people, I'm sure I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, but I'm sure a lot of people are following this. Those who haven't, I'm sure will soon follow it.
Okay. Because
it's ramping up. It came out, and it's just like gangbusters. It's a huge show now. And I'm surprised at some people that they haven't heard about it until they do, and then they're hooked.
Okay. What's this show? I'm dying to hear.
It's called Two Hot Tubs Inside of One Hot Tub.
Okay, and what's that about?
And it's only a 30-minute program, but a lot of people will re-air the episodes multiple times a day. And what it is, it's similar to, the Christmas Yule log fireplace video that they play.
Sure, yeah. You can put it on your TV at the holidays, and it looks like you have a fireplace.
Yeah, it's like that, but only this show, they broadcast these two hot tubs inside of a much larger hot tub. And it's something you don't see very often, but it's for, for the people when you're having a nice dinner, you want to make it that extra special evening. You just turn this on, or if you're alone, you want some company, you want to feel like you're inside of two hot tubs inside of a much larger hot tub. You turn that on. Apparently, there's a lot of lonely people and a lot of couples out there, and a lot of just all different types enjoy this programming. And let me tell you that with the rating seasons this year alone, they practically doubled viewership from the pilot episode, and each episode following the one preceding it, it's almost double viewership each time.
Well, wow. Well, I know that sounds really interesting to me. That sounds like a show that I would sit and watch, and that's even a show I could see myself putting on at Christmas time.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to have some sturdy competition there. You may see that Yule log, enough viewers might drop that they might just go away with it altogether. You never know. So if you need that show, I obviously tape it for now, but going forward, this is the new programming.
Well, Topher McGanus is on the phone. And thank you very much for calling in and giving a rundown of the newest and brightest reality TV out there, Topher. I really appreciate it.
Well, anytime, my friend. It's been a pleasure. I love what you do with the show, and it's just a hoot.
Topher, thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
All right, that was Topher McGanus. Lots of new reality shows out there, and I'm personally kind of interested in checking out Huge Stew. I know that sounds like fun. They all sound fun. Huge Stew, Surgery Friends, Put This Baseball in Your Mouth for an Hour, Sigourney Weaver's Time Out, and 2 hot tubs inside of 1 hot tub. I mean, those sound like a lot of fun. The phone number is 773-508-WLUW. That's 773-508-9589. If you do call, just please remember there is but one rule on this radio show.
Don't flush those toilets! I want you to leave those logs in there for me to inspect.
And that's really the only rule you have to follow. 773-508-WLUW, 773-508-9589. We were talking about anxiety and panic attacks, and then a young man by the name of Patrick called in. Patrick, I want to thank you for calling in. And he is going to give me the opportunity to drink his blood out of a shot glass to see if it heals me in any way, if it makes me younger or more vital in any way. And I am so looking forward to trying this because, I've talked about it many times. The Jimmer's getting a little long in the tooth, and it's time for him to drink some young blood. Or if anybody else would like to offer up their blood to me, they can do so at 773-508-WLUW. I'd be happy to have some of that delicious blood. Just a quick reminder.
Email. I heard that's really neat.
If you ever want to contact the show, you can do so at woodandbreakfast@gmail.com. You can listen to the past 2 episodes at woodandbreakfast.blogspot.com. You can follow the show on Facebook at facebook.com/woodandbreakfast, or follow us on Twitter at woodandbreakfast, or at DJ the Jimmer, or at Cashews Whipwater even. Haven't heard from old Cashews in a while. Might be time for him to call in sometime. Hold on, the phone's ringing. WLUW, you're on the air with DJ the Jimmer.
Hey there, Jimmer.
Oh, my God. Cashews, I was just talking about you on the show.
I know you were. You misspelled my name.
How do you spell your name?
Well, you spelled it right, but it's C Whipwater. That's C Whipwater. If you do Cashews Whipwater, there's too many letters, and you won't go to the Twitter.
Oh, so it's C Whipwater at Twitter, or at C Whipwater?
Yeah, something like that.
Now, Cashews is the traffic correspondent for the show. Cashews, do you have a traffic report for us today?
I do, actually.
All right, well, let's hear it.
I was down bicycling with Julie Andrews.
With Julie Andrews from The Sound of Music?
Yep, that's the one.
And what you were bicycling? Are you old friends or what?
Oh, yeah. She used to tutor me.
She used to tutor you?
Yep.
In what subject?
Well, French.
Okay. Wow, so you were just enjoying a nice, relaxing night?
Somewhat, yeah. I say we were bicycling, but we were in. She was driving, she was pedaling, and I was in one of those little sidecar dealies.
Oh, I see. So she was kind of just scooting you around.
Yep, I was doing a Sudoku.
Oh, I see. And what was the traffic like, Cashews?
Traffic is pretty good. I went to the grocery store yesterday, and guess who I ran into?
Who'd you run into, Cashews?
Bob Costas.
You ran into Bob Costas. Hold on. Did he happen to say this to you?
And he heard rhythmic slapping sounds.
He actually was telling the cashier that when I was approaching him.
And where did you run into him again at?
At the grocery store.
What was
at the Piggly Wiggly.
What was he buying?
He was buying tube socks, some cotton balls, like 2 or 3 cases of gin, and some hair ties.
And what were you buying, Cashews?
Well, just the usual. I was getting some Jimmy Dean sausage and some Ziploc bags.
Cashews, you lead a very interesting life. That's to say the least. Now, how are you doing on the boozing? I remember last time we talked, you were drinking a lot of alcohol. Are you still, or have you come clean with it?
Oh no, I've stopped.
Really, Cashews? What excellent news!
Yep. I had to drive, so I put it down, and I got my groceries, and I'm just on my way back. So I'm not drinking right now.
Oh, I see, Cashews, but you're still drinking. You're just not drinking at this second.
No, I'm not drinking right now. I'm driving. They say don't drink and drive. So that's why you do it before and after.
But can I ask you a question? Are you drunk, Cashews?
I must say I'm not. That's what I told the nice police lady that I spoke to a little while ago.
All right, Cashews. Well, it's obvious we're not going to get a traffic report, so I'd like to thank you for calling in, and we'll talk to you again real soon, okay?
Yeah, that's been Cashews Whipwater. I got to go back.
All right. Cashews Whipwater, everybody. We're going to listen to a couple of songs here and then close up the show. You're listening to the Wood and Breakfast radio program. You've got DJ the Jimmer on the ones and twos, I suppose. Enjoy.